never even imagine how far the gospel could be preached and how far it could be taken. Now, your skill, it isn't the answer to evangelism. People aren't just going to get saved in the masses, right? They're not going to disciple people through Instagram and social media, but it's the springboard for it. It piques the interest and the curiosity, and what it does is it serves the saved of the people that are in your church that are encouraged, but it also reaches the lost. And that is the goal of the Great Commission. And so, like I was saying, we're building a global network, and you have family in Hollywood, you have family in Panama, and Amsterdam, all over the world of other people just like you that are looking to grow. Now, do we have all the answers? By all means, no. But we've done enough we have enough of experience. We've done things, we've failed enough times, we've learned, we've seen what works. And you have the ability to be able to reach out and to get help from the ministry, from Victory Outreach International, and from families and the bases or people that you may know, because this is important. I would go as far as to say, now, don't tell any pastors that I said it, but a church that doesn't have social media or doesn't utilize it correctly, it might not grow and it might even die. That's a big statement. Don't put that on your stories right now. That's what I took away. If we don't get IG, we will die. But that's how important it is. It doesn't take the place of evangelism. You still got to go out there and preach the gospel. You still got to pray for people and lay hands. But if you do not utilize this tool that God has given us, there's a chance that there's a huge group of people, especially young people, that you will not reach. And I can say confidently in that, not just because it's my ministry that I do, but in Hollywood, we've had entire families come because they seen a TikTok that we put on. And it wasn't pastor preaching. It wasn't Pastor Sonny doing an impartation. It wasn't this great musical thing. It was one of the guys dancing, doing a trend of all things. It was a 10-second video they seen on TikTok, and they're like, hey, I was looking for a church. It was a mom and her 2 kids came in. And we've had multiple families come in just because they seen a post. Now, if that doesn't reach farther than me, talking to several people, an actual family came in and they'll be a part of our church, and they went to international events, they went to HSI Breakout, they were part. Why? Because we took the time just to make a video. It may have even looked silly to a lot of people. There's probably people that judge that video that we put out, but it got a family in our church. You use your gifts how? To tell the story of the gospel, to tell the story of Jesus. That's what we're doing. And how do you do that? The same way Jesus, he preached in parables. When he told stories, what he did is he found the intersection of faith and culture. So he talked about agriculture, he talked about money, he talked about baking, he talked about all these things, and he found the intersection of faith and culture and where they met, that people that maybe are unchurched can understand culturally and see how it fits in. Oh, I can believe God. This is more, I can understand this. Because why? Because Jesus told a story, and people pay attention to the stories you tell and the things that you do. So you take what's happening in your church, you take culture, and you put those things where they intersect so that you could preach the gospel. Are you guys with me here today? You take what's happening in your church and you put it out there. Real briefly, I'm going to give you, this is new stuff that we're doing right there in Hollywood, so you guys are the first to hear it. I don't even think I shared it with our team. And these are kind of like the 10 Commandments. Don't write that. It's there's no name for it yet. There's 10 rules for social media. I've done a lot of these trainings. I've done a lot of different things that we've taught and we've done. But this is the first time that we're doing this. And it's just to optimize and make what we're doing work 100 times better and to reach further. The first thing is that when we're looking at our social media is you got to ask yourself this question. Is your post informed by Christ? Like we said, it's not the answer to evangelism and it's not the answer to discipleship, but it is the springboard for those things that make people interested and curious. It's a tool of evangelism. And like I said, you find the intersections of faith and culture, and when you put up a video or you put up photos or you put up a quote or a scripture, your posts have to be informed. There has to be intention behind it. If you're just posting random things or a random photo of someone and it doesn't make sense or it's not attractive, it's kind of a waste. And so there has to be intention, and the number one intention is, man, is this preaching the gospel? Is it informed by Christ? The second thing is, don't do ministry or don't just invite to ministry, but do ministry. Here's where a lot of churches go wrong, is they just use their Instagram as posting their flyers. Sunday, 10 a.m., see you there, right? This Thursday, we have a special guest speaker. This Wednesday, Third Wave Gang Night, come through, and that's all you see, and that's unattractive. There's church, Victory Outreach social medias that are like that, and I'll be honest, I don't follow them. Because it doesn't give life, it doesn't give you, it's just, here, invitation, you're like just inviting to parties is what you're doing. You're just inviting to, you're event-driven, event-orientated, so you don't just invite to ministry. What do? You do ministry on there. Social media, creativity, it is a ministry that you do, right? Just for anybody that's on the worship team, you don't just sing songs. What are you doing? You're worshiping. You're doing ministry, right? Just like someone who preaches, you're not just talking. What do you do? You're doing ministry. You're preaching. You're giving the word. So don't just invite to ministry. Do ministry. Number 3, no weeks off. What is that? You don't got to post every day to social media, but you got to post every week. These are simple to-dos, simples that are going to keep you going. Don't feel like you got to post every day, but show up every week, because people should be expecting something from you. Whether this is the main church account, whether it's the gang account, or even if you say, you know what, man, I'm personally going to use my social media to be an influence, right? And I'm going to be, so you can't take weeks off. You could take days off, but you got to show up every week. Number 4 is you got to reach wide and connect deep. Reels, TikToks, like I said, we're in the discovery area, so they reach wide. When you post a reel, and they're going to talk about that in a little bit, it reaches wide. People who don't follow you are going to see your videos. And it reaches wide. It could be inspirational. It could be it could be a preaching clip, a sound. It could be a recap of your service. It reaches wide. But when you reach wide, don't be shallow about it. You got to connect deep. Social media is a great way to give people information about your church. So, like I said, don't just post a flyer, but also don't just post something that doesn't connect them back to your church. You got to get them in the room. You can build an audience online, but the main goal I think we all have here is we want to see these seats filled, right? Right? You don't want to have 1,000 followers on Instagram and like 40 people on a Third Wave night, right? We want to get people in the room, so you got to connect them to whether that's in the description, whether that's on the video, whatever it might be. There needs to be a connection back to the local body here, because we can't just live online, right? We got to get them connected to the actual body right here. Number 5, like I talked about, it's the springboard to discipleship. It gives a taste, but it's not the full effect. It could even win souls, and someone could say the sinner's prayer, right? They could, but the goal is to connect them to the physical body, not just family online. Number 6, you got to stop the scroll. What does that mean? You ever watch a video that just gets your attention, right? You're just scrolling mindlessly, but then you see a video and you're like, oh, I need to watch this, right? It's like you could be making this one expensive mistake, right? Or someone's like, I lost $1 million by doing this one thing. I'm like, okay, you got my attention, right? And so you got to find a way to hook the people so they look at your content. Because remember, we talked about the number one currency right now is attention. Is can you get people to pay attention to you? These corporations pay millions of dollars in advertising for what? What, to get your money? No, they want your attention. They want you just to have, just think about them, right? Man, I'm thirsty. I want a Gatorade. Who's been on top right now? Prime. Prime has been getting everybody's attention, right? Right? They're not paying to get your money. They're paying to get your attention. So when you put stuff online, it could be great stuff. It could be powerful. It could be deep. It could change someone's life. But if you don't grab their attention, they'll never see it. They'll never hear it. They'll never read it. And it'll never impact their lives. So even with videos, those first 3 seconds are crucial. And you need to get people's attention. 3 more is offline and online ministry must work together as allies, not as adversaries. This is more for people who don't think social media is necessary and we need to get connected. Realistically, the average person, and this is a stretch, comes to church for roughly 1 day a week. Maybe that's about 2 hours, 1 hour. They come late, they miss worship, right? They come in after giving because they don't want to give their tithe. No, just kidding. Right? Let's say they come to church once a week. That still leaves 167 hours that they spend elsewhere. This is where social media is you're able to get maybe what they're getting in here, but you can infiltrate their phones. Even if they come to 3 services a week, but they're not plugged in with everything, if they're not, they still only have a certain amount of time. But if you could infiltrate their phone, you can re-say what pastor said on Sunday. You could drop a quote about what took place on Wednesday. You could continue to impart into them, to preach to them, to encourage them, right? Now it doesn't take away discipleship, but you still have the ability to work hand in hand with what's taking place physically. You could do that online as well. Number 8, repeat the best, forget the rest, and continue to test. What does that mean? Is if it doesn't work online, don't use it. But if it works well for you, you get good traction, good likes, keep using it. We've made videos that I thought, man, this thing is going to be a hit. Everybody's going to love it. This is going to be the best thing we've done yet. And it's got like 60 likes, 2 comments. Then we'll do like another video. Maybe didn't put much love into it, something simple, and it blows up. It has like 300 likes, like comments, right? It's not about what I want to post. It's what the people connect with. It's what catches their attention. So if there's something that, man, this is viral and everybody loves what we do when we do this, okay, let's keep doing that. It might not be my personal preference, but it's getting traction. And this thing does is Instagram, TikTok, they award you for as much time as people pay attention. If people like, comment, share, save, it'll reward you and it'll put you in front of a bigger audience. So you could put something out, but if you're not getting people's attention, right, it's just going to stay there. It's going to die. It's going to be something. But if you find what works for you, for the gang, for the main, whatever it might be, is you got to keep on, you got to use that well till it runs dry. Number 9, all it takes is one. Is you never know, you could be at like 10 likes, 15 likes for a long time, and then one thing will finally blow up, and it'll take you on a road to where you want to continue to go. And number 10 is the church advantage. Now, it's not easy to serve in a church because sometimes it feels like you're working a 9 to 5. Can I talk to somebody? And then you're serving in a church, it's also not, it doesn't feel like, you work for a job, you have resources, you have all these things. A lot of times here, right, we don't have a budget, we don't have a lot of time, we don't have a lot of resources as much as a business would, right? But do you know what churches have that no other type of organization or industry has? Is that we have senior leaders that already create and share a message every single week. So other businesses, they got to set up days where they got to film. I work with a company right now where we go and we have to set up a day. We film 20 videos. It takes them a whole day of work, and then they got to wait to edit it, do it, put it out, go. But for churches, you have a whole hour of content every single Sunday. Pastor's pouring his heart out. And sometimes all we do is put that up on YouTube as a Hail Mary and like, well, I hope someone listens to this, right? You have people preaching their heart out on Friday nights. You have content that's already being made So you're sitting on gold mine, even if it's old, even if it's not from this week, you have so much that you could utilize now and set yourself up for months. Someone talk to me. Is you have the advantage right here in a church. You have music that can be recorded. You have so much that can be utilized. People that could give devotions, volunteers, right? There's not much finances we got to put into this. All you need is a phone, record somebody and put it up online, right? Get the good angle of them. Don't make them look bad, right? It's not a number on here, but if we had 11, it would be make sure it's quality. If it's not quality, you're not representing God right. If it's terrible, if it's right, it doesn't have to be professional all the time, but make sure it's quality. Make sure it's good. Make sure it's going to attract, because sometimes we don't represent our churches right. Sometimes we don't represent our God right. And so you need to make sure that you take advantage of everything that is already here in the church. You got the lighting, you got the sound. Why not take advantage of it? Just a few extra work to be able to post here today. I got someone I want to call up right now. I believe you're first, huh? So we're going to call up a specialist. He's in the leadership campus. He's originally from AV Dallas, but he's going to talk to us a little bit about videos. I want to call up Luis here today. Hello, God bless you, family.
And something else that what God is looking for is availability. Someone that's going to be available for what God wants to do within their lives. So it's very important to be available. What does that mean? Be available. Start creating the team where you're available, where I'm here. Man, whatever it is, I'm here. Therefore, it's very important, to maintain a humble but effective posture. You want to be effective in what you're doing, in your video, in your photo, or whatever it may be. And I know that many of times we could pay attention to the negativity. We could pay attention, and I've been doing this so long. We still haven't got a camera. We still don't have a gear. But in those moments, we got to learn how to look at the positivity. And you may ask, how can we look at the positivity? That's going to be through God's eyes. Looking at things through God's eyes. How does God see this church? How does God see you this afternoon? And I believe God sees this church as something, as a tool for this generation. So therefore, it's very important through negative times. We have to look at the positive. Look at it, man, we have a church. We unite every single Sunday. There's people coming in through those doors. Man, I believe God wants to do something within this church. Therefore, it's important to look at things with a positive mindset, to look at things with God's eyes. I know it's very hard, like I said, coming from a pioneer church, and I know what it feels like, having long nights, no sleep. And I like to say a joke for like media, not all nights we're meant to sleep for media, hallelujah. Because it requires a lot of work. A lot of work that's not seen. But I want to let you know that that's okay. God sees that. God sees those hours that you take. I want to let you know, man, when I first started, I would take days on the video. I would take completely days. And that video would be, like, honestly, not good at all. But that's how I started. I had to be faithful in the little. Little by little, I got a little camera. Little by little, I upgraded on the lens. Little by little, I started investing in myself. It's important that you start recognizing that, man, I got to invest in myself. I have to invest in my church. And how are you going to invest? Everything does not have to be financially, but invest what God has given you. You may not have the creativity to do it, but you may have the passion to push someone else to do it. To tell them, hey, man, you could be a specialist. What, me? Nah. Yeah, you could be a specialist. That young person that may walk through those doors, that may not know where his calling is at, you could let him know, hey, man, you could be a specialist in media. Because I believe not all of us are called to be up in the pulpit, to be preaching, to be singing. Many have called, to do media. A lot of young people are really called to do it, and therefore we have to be that person that's going to empower that person. And I just wanted to touch a few points here. Through videography, we're able to transmit, to our audience a point of view what it is to come to your church. Through you posting a video, that's giving the people a point of view. What is it like coming to Riverside? What's it like on a Sunday to Riverside? So therefore it's very important for you to be intentional but directional. The way we reflect, we're reflecting God. At the end of the day, this church is reflecting Jesus. And we want to reflect Jesus with our best quality, And I just wanted to touch a quick aspects of 5 videos that there is. Like I said, we have to be very intentional. One must ask himself, what is it that you're trying to attract or give through that video? Because how many of us know that we can't just be posting videos just to post? We have to ask ourselves, okay, what's the purpose behind this video? Through this video, what am I trying to get? Am I trying to get people to come to the church? Am I trying to let people know that there's family within the church, that there's a love within the church? Through this video, am I trying to let the people know that everyone's involved, not just specific type of ages? And through this video, am I trying to let them know that this is a church where everyone's allowed? So I just want to touch 5 videos, aspects of a videos. There is a promotional video. You may ask yourself, what is a promotional video? It's a video used to express the purpose of promoting a specific marketing. So meaning this could be like recaps, like an overall recap of what happens within your church. You're promoting your church. You want to promote that it's a community within your church. You want to promote that everyone's welcome within your church. So meaning this would be more like of a recap. highlighting every ministry when it comes to greeting, when it comes to worship, when it comes to the preacher, and when it comes to like fellowship at the end. So it's kind of like more like an overall recap. Now there's an informational video, a video that provides information about a specific product, service, or topic. So meaning the informational video, you would use it more on giving information on what will take place. For example, on an event, probably get a brother or sister to talk. We want to, invite them to this event. Hello, God bless you. My name is da-da-da-da. I want to invite you to this event that's going to take place at 5 p.m. We're going to have Michael Morrow sharing with us. So you're kind of just giving information on what's going to happen. You want to give information, details, locations, times on what's going to take place. So that's an informational. Now, entertainment, it makes content personal. It makes content personal. The personal touch will give the unique taste. So meaning that would be like something more trending. Something that's taking place right now within the world. So entertainment, you would want to use it when there's like a trendy song. When there's something like I know there's that one trend that was very famous on I don't know if y'all seen it with the flashing phones. That trendy was like, that thing blew up. So it's just entertainment will fall in something more like that, like trending on what's going around within the world. So therefore, you have to be kind of like attentive to those, because you don't want to post a trend being all late to the trend. Like, oh, come on. People are going to be like, oh, bro, you're late to the trend. So it's important for those type of videos for you to be on it, for you to be on those type of stuff, to be on the entertainment, because that's what gives the people like, man, church is not boring. And how many of us know that church isn't boring? But the way we just promote stuff, it could cause it to look like if it's boring. If it's just a photo of the pastor like this, oh man, my God. But if it's like kind of highlighting him, like the way it goes down, him on fire, kind of like the worship on fire, that's gonna, man, the church looks fun. Like a community, man, the church looks fun. But if we're getting people fellowshipping like, oh my God, I'll be like, man, what's going on in that church? So therefore, that's what I mean by being intentional. You're not going to record your pastor when he's looking at his notes. You're going to record your pastor when he's on fire, when he's over there, man, God, this, and that. So you want to be very intentional by that. Intentional on what you're going to promote, because I want to let you know that our leaders are looking. I don't know who's over this region, but I promise that regional pastor is looking at this church. He is looking at this church, and it's important because we're Victory Outreach. We're an end-time ministry, meaning that we have to be up to quality on what takes place. And I want to let you know that, yes, our international leaders, they know about Riverside. They know what's taking place. So therefore, it's important to be very intentional. We're not going to record a brother that's over there sleeping during the preaching. We're going to record a brother that's over there taking notes. We're going to record a brother that's like, So therefore, it's important to be intentional, not to just get a camera and record everything. Because I know when I started videography, I was like that. I wasn't intentional with nothing. I had a camera, and I was getting excited, and I was recording everything. And then I would go to my editing app, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Therefore, it's important to be intentional, because that saves you time. When you're intentional, okay, so what I do, like my personal plan, I come to church already prepared. In the same way, I believe, like, every pastor, when they prepare a sermon, I believe it takes them like up to a week to prepare. So meaning that should mean that we should take up to a week to prepare for our Sunday service. I like to say, especially for media, it's on like full-time serving ministry. Like, to be honest, it is. You're always serving. After service, you're making something. It requires a lot of time. Meaning, you need to take that week to get right with God. We can't come to a Sunday service and want to be at the altar. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I like to say Sundays is game day. For me, Sunday is a game day. Where I'm shooting. I'm a sniper that day. I'm shooting content. I'm editing content. Why? Because my heart's prepared already. My heart's prepared. My mind's prepared. I'm ready to just shoot. I'm ready to make something happen. So that's what I mean, being very intentional, becoming prepared. The same way your pastor comes prepared with his sermon, we should have that same preparation for our ministry. You know, meaning, how can you get prepared within this ministry? You could have the concept already. You can have the inspirational video already. And you can have the song ready. I like to come to a Sunday service with the song I'm already going to do. And I just present the plan to my leader. You know, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do these type of shots. And boom, knock it out. Instead of coming to service, oh, what the heck am I going to do today? I'm lost. I don't know what to do. You're just shooting everything because you have no purpose through that video. Rather than if you would have planned, if you would have been prepared, okay, I already know, I'm going to get worship. Boom, as soon as MC goes up, I'm going to get him too. As soon as MC comes down, I'm going to go back to work on it a bit. And then when pastor's on fire, record him. At the end, you know, I'm going to get the families fellowshipping. So therefore, it's important to come prepared to church on the Sunday service. Because that's going to help you. Because for me, I would get all this content and then go home and be like, what the heck? There's no I would take so long on editing the video. Why? Because I just had so much content. There was no purpose behind that content. There was no purpose behind that content. I was just putting clips together and uploading it. And I noticed it wasn't being effective at all. It wasn't being effective at all. I wasn't getting people to engage. But then I had to realize, man, I have to get prepared. This is my ministry. I have to give my all to this ministry. That same way Peter may have told them, you know, I may not have silver or gold. You may ask yourself, you know, I may not have everything. I may not be the best, but what I am, I'm going to give it to you, God. Trusting in you, man, that you're going to make me a specialist. You know, and this afternoon, it's important for you to speak life over you, to speak rain over you, to speak rain over your ministry. You know, you want to come to the media booth on a Sunday service, man, we're going to make something fire today. Man, because I want to let you know that energy, that vision that you have, that transmits to people. If you're coming in here, all right, guys, we're going to record this, give some shots of Pastor. You know, make sure hey, please, for real, like, we need to do this. You know, makes me all dismotivated. So therefore, we want to come to a Sunday service prepared. You know, and how are we going to get prepared, and how are we going to get that passion through God? That's what's going to give us a passion. Because I want to let you know, if we don't have that in this ministry, we're going to get burnt out easily. You're going to get burnt out easily. Because it requires a lot of hours. And if you're not getting refreshed, if you're not having those point of references with God, man, if you're not having those fresh encounters with God, man, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Therefore, it's important to have those fresh encounters with God. So by the time you're coming here on a Sunday service, you're ready to go. You're ready to shoot. And another type of video that there is documentary. A video explaining an event or a person. Meaning, this could probably fall more in place on, you could be recording on taking note on what is taking place within your church. You know, a documentary would be something more as far as like, I know when we were stepping into Hollywood, we documented that thing. What it is, felting. Okay, we're here at Third Wave Hollywood. We're setting up. You know, we documented all of that because that's history. You know, so there's these types of 5 videos that you want to have in mind when you come to a Sunday service. Okay, what type of video do we want to do? Do we want to do a promotional, an informational, entertainment, or documentary? So these are a couple of videos that you can have kind of before coming to church. You know, like I said, it's something that's very important. We have to be effective in it. We have to have an ambition to make things happen. Because it's hard, because I know from speaking on behalf of my church, we have like, I say 3 brothers doing it, me and 2 other brothers. You know, and I had to learn how to use my resources. What do I mean by that? I had to pick someone from the home. And there's resources within the church that you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised that, man, this brother is gifted. You'll be surprised that, man, like, these guys are talented. You know, so you have to learn how to use your resources. Learn how to pick a player. You know, you want to be that team member that knows how to pick a player, that knows how to encourage a brother, that knows how to encourage a sister, that, hey, man, we're going to do this together. You know, I had to learn how to pick a player. Why? Because I was getting burnt out. I was doing everything by myself, and God told me, why? It's because you're doing everything yourself. I didn't call you to do that. I didn't call you just to do everything by yourself. Build a team. You know, build a team within your church. I know for Third Wave Hollywood, there's a social media chat. And we just send content to each other. Throughout the week, we send our weekly agendas, and we just send content to each other. And I love the concept that they have here is they have like an agenda of a post schedule. Okay, so Monday, we're going to highlight what took place Sunday. Tuesday, we're going to have a motivational reel. And I like how they have an agenda where it's not like so late planning. So therefore, responsibilities pass out lightly because that person already knows, okay, I got to do this by this date. So therefore, talk to your team. Know your team. Know the availability within your team. Okay, if this brother's free, he doesn't work. I'll set an example. If he doesn't work Tuesday, okay, we could have him do the reel Tuesday. Okay, if this sister over here, she's free Sundays. Okay, we're gonna have her highlight the reel of Sunday. So therefore, it's important to know your team. Be attentive to what God wants to do within your team, within your church. Be sensitive to what God wants to do within your church, because this is the way we reflect God. To the outside world, we live in a world where they want to see. We live in a world that sadly, they wouldn't believe nothing if they don't see it. And it's true. And we have to, truly internalize that and accept that. Like, man, in today's generation, man, they're so lost that they don't believe nothing nowadays. They're believing everything that this phone tells them. And therefore we have to speak that truth through the phone. So that's something short that I wanted to leave to y'all. Something that, as a videographer, that I prepare myself. I have the song ready. I have the type of assets I want to use ready by that Sunday. What I mean by assets is like by effects. The effects I want to use, film burns or like glitch effects. So you want to have all of that prepared by the time you come in here. So by the time you come in here, you're handing out responsibilities. Okay, you're going to do this. Boom, you're going to have this song, So what I would do within my church, I remember I would meet up with the media team every morning, show them the song. Okay, we're going to do this song. Have them fill out the vibe. Okay, so now I want these type of shots. And it's important to have a shot list, so you're just not there like, oh, what the heck am I going to shoot right now? There's nothing to shoot. It's important to have a shot list. What I mean by that is, okay, I'm going to get a shot of the building, the outside building. I'm going to get a shot of the greeters. I'm going to get a shot of people handshaking themselves. So that's something short that I wanted to leave y'all with. And I know that at the end, we're going to have a short Q&A. So, if you have any questions on anything that I touch, I would like to go back to it. We could break it down a bit more. But with this being said, I'm going to pass it to another brother here. His name is Edgar.
Good job. Give Luis another hand. That's my boy right there. The past 3 reels on the bass is all him, so he's killing the game right now. My name is Edgar, and I don't have the Edgar cut, thank God, you know what I mean? But I was Edgar before it was popular, But I'm a bass team member right there at 30 Hollywood. I've been serving at the bass for about a year and a half, and I'm still new to this, but I'm one of the overseers for the VO Gang International pages. So I work at VOI at the corporate office, and that's how social media is powerful, because I was just a guy in the home 4 years ago, But God took me all the way there, and now I'm serving right here alongside the base, and I'm truly grateful. And I just want to thank the gang team for having us here. I appreciate it, really do. But I'm going to be speaking about something that I truly love, and it's the importance of graphic design, on graphic design on your social media. And one of the most significant ways that people outside your church, in your city, look at the personality of your church is through the graphics, right? And so graphics show the heart, the people, and the personality of your church. If your church's graphics are bright, vibrant, it feels more welcoming, I like your church right here because it's white, I like churches that are white because it's it feels like there's life in here, you know what I mean? Some churches have different different personalities, If you go to Whittier, it's black with a whole bunch of lights, and it's different personalities of a church, but you show that through graphics, It just depends what kind of vibe you're going for. And something that we do at the base is that we use the graphics to promote information, the people, and the vision of our church. Now, first with information. Now, of course, with graphics, with videos, social media, it all goes alongside. And something that we do is we promote the information, you know. But something that I think Mike hit on, that something that's important with graphics, it goes alongside with the photos, the videos. It's all important of the feed, you know. I'm like a social media manager, so like I like just that's all I do. That's all I study, you know, like the image of your Instagram and stuff. And but with the information, you want to promote that mainly on your story, you know. Like you don't want, like he said, like you don't want your Instagram to be full of just flyers, you know, flyers. But it should be promoted on your stories. And something that's important too is it's important. Like for me, I love using people for our graphics. I don't know if you see at the base. That's something that we really like to do, is we promote the people, you know. And it's really important because when you promote the young adults are gonna come. And if you promote the families are gonna come, and stuff like that. And not to be like that, but if you promote older people are gonna come. You know what I mean? We want everyone to come, you know. But that's something it's always, you know, touchy. You know what I mean? Like, but it's cool though, cause like when you invite when you show families, like the families come, and then who comes with them? It's like the high school kids, like their kids, like their new gen, you know. And when you promote the young people, that's how my family came to the church. I came to the church, and my family came. So it goes all around. And number two is you promote the vision, you know. And some of the best examples of the way to use graphics is that I remember right here at the base. I don't know if you guys seen it, but we launched a campaign. So you launched a campaign through your Instagram, and we're promoting Hope for Hollywood. So we're doing our pledges for the building and everything. And something that I love that we did was that when we did Hope for Hollywood, we promoted why we were pledging, like what we're doing it for, and we wanted people to feel what they were going to give, like their finances to, because if you give them the vision, and what the vision was to bring hope to Hollywood, you know, bring salvation to people in Hollywood, the people that are lost, the people that who have money and all that stuff, you know, like the people in Hollywood. It's like a good mixture. But like I feel when you show them the heart of the house, then they catch the heart. You know what I mean? Like they catch the heart of your pastor, they catch the heart of the vision. And it's just like the same thing with Riverside, you know? You want to promote the vision of the house, like the vision of your pastor's heart, and the vision of Victory Outreach International, which is to reach the inner cities and it's to reach Riverside. And one thing that's important too, I think Mike hit on it, but it's the graphics have to be life-giving. And when you guys have events, outings, church picnics, fellowship, you have to be sure to promote those, because it shows that there's a church alive, and there's a church in the city that they could be a part of, you know. Young people can come to this church on Fridays. Wait, you're getting us on Fridays, right? Okay, popping, you know, popping. I remember when I was in the world, man, Fridays were like, I'm going to go out, you know, I want to go do something. But they can come here to a place that's alive with young people, with people that are vibe, you know. I remember when I was back home in Long Beach, man, my main like party was I wanted to make it I wanted our gang nights to look like a vibe, you know. So that's why I promoted, like it was called like LB Vibe Nights. You know, I wanted to bring the city out because like I know that like how can I say this, like you guys are cool people, and like you guys want to show that, you know what I mean? I thought I was a cool person, like I'm a cool now, you know what I mean? I'm gonna promote this, you know, my gang team and everything. But yeah. And I remember when I was fresh in my church, I was always there because my church made it a point to always have something to do and to look forward to, and to make sure that it's the same way here in your church, you know. I'm pretty sure your pastor, your leaders always have something going on. And how can people check? It's like to go to your Instagram and see what's happening next, you know. Like I remember I always had something to look forward to, and I always had somewhere to go. And when you show Riverside to the world, to the community, you want them to know that there's a community that is here for everyone. There's a place for the young adult, for the families, where they can find God, a community, a purpose, and it's just like the vision of Victory Outreach International, just like to give the message of Jesus and to give them a place where they can find their purpose in life. And yeah, you just gotta give them heaven, you know. But that's all I got. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, you guys still good here tonight? We got just a little bit more. Are you learning anything? That's the important thing. We wanted to make this as digestible as possible, and that you really could take something and apply it. There's no sense in giving something if you can't live it, you can't apply it, and so we want to give it to anybody who will listen and who will do it. And it's knowledge when you have it, but it's wisdom when you apply it. So wisdom is knowledge applied. So when you got it, live it, do it. So we've talked a little bit just about some rules, some simple things, the importance of social media. I think we covered that. We've talked about videos, about reels. And with the reels, on a level, you probably don't even need a camera if you don't have it for a while, right? An iPhone 15 these things do magic. And so if you got an iPhone, I mean, you should be able to create something great out of that. It's called UGC, user-generated content. We talked about graphics a little bit. Graphics are vital and important. And I want to talk about something that's going to bring it all together. I want to talk a little bit about branding. Someone say branding. Branding is vital because it's the look of your church. It's the look of any business, of any event, of anything going on. Branding, what it communicates, not just how you look, but it communicates who you are. It communicates your values. It communicates, if people want to know about you, they're going to look at your branding. So if you don't already follow Third Wave Hollywood, I would go and do that right now. Everybody's on their phones during church anyway, so, you know, it's not even hard to tell anymore because our heads are down like this. From the stage, you see everything. You're like, I'm just texting my mom. I'm just checking in. Go follow Third Wave Hollywood Instagram. We're on Facebook, but follow us on IG. You're going to see a little bit about everything we're talking, who we're promoting, who we're putting up. Like we said, there's young adults, there's people smiling, there's never someone asleep, or, you know, we're very methodical, very intentional. You know, there's shots that we want photography-wise. There's a shot list that we have for videography, for our graphics. We're very intentional. It takes a leader to be intentional with what you want to do, because you could be, you know, a creative and do all these things, but if there's no drive behind it, if there's no one thing that we're doing, one look, then you get lost in the sauce, right? You start doing everything, and you start looking like everything and everyone instead of looking like you, right? Instead of looking like Riverside, instead of looking like Victory Outreach, instead of looking like, so branding. I know we have a few of the graphics that we gave back there. So I just want to go over branding quickly because, like I spoke about earlier, companies, they pay millions of dollars. You're driving down the street, you see a giant golden M. What's the first thing you think about? Chicken nuggies. You think about McDonald's, right? You know how many times I've been tempted to do like a 40-piece and just like, you know, end the night with 40-piece chicken nuggets, right? Just by seeing those golden arches. They've had branding so strong, it's been embedded in us since we were kids, right? All these brands, they have colors, they have fonts, they have looks, they have all these things. And what does it do? It speaks to who they are, what they believe in, you know, what they do, and what kind of product or what kind of service they bring to you, right? If you think about a certain brand, you think about, you know, the feelings that it brings, you know? You think about the certain things that they give to you, and I want to do that just for a little bit. So what we do is we create a mood board, a brand guide. And so the mood board, the brand guide, is we do this for international, we do this for Third Wave Hollywood, we do this for events, and it's like if you've been following Winter Retreat for a little bit, there's two separate looks. There's Elevate, right, with the young adults, and then there's Upward, which is also with, and that's two separate looks, but those are brand guides that we had to follow and we had to do. We're going to show you Third Wave before we were Hollywood. We were LA back in 2022. This is when we began the year, and we run these for 3-4 months, and we plan and we prep the next one, and we have a specific look that we go with for the season, for the time. So this is our style guide, our brand guide. This is one of my favorites that we've ever done, and I think we really set the bar with this that we had to continue to follow. If we could go to the next one. So there's a few things that go within a brand guide. The first thing is colors. You can't be purple one week and orange the next, right? Sometimes a mistake that the churches will do, that creators will do, is when there's not a leader that's in place there to be intentional with it, is that you'll use every color of the rainbow, right? One graphic will look like this, and another graphic will look like something else completely, right? And it's all that you see this online, you see that, this is different fonts, and then you come to church, and then it looks completely different when you're at church. There's no branding, no thought involved. It may seem like something silly, but it's also something that separates us from looking professional, right? Looking high quality. If you know anything about Victory Outreach, we're inner city ministry. Yes, we reach drug addicts and gang members. Yes, we love the Victory Homes. Yes, we love. But if you come to our churches, right, we have a standard that we live by. We have a quality that our leaders have. If you get around Pastor Sonny, right, he is a man of quality. And so that translates to everything else that he puts his hands to. It's high quality. It's not something that's an afterthought. It's not something that's just make it happen. It's not, but there are professionals, there are specialists, there are people that have given that you know what, if the world is doing it like this, if this is the professional way to do it, the quality, then we got to follow that same quality, and we got to even do it just a little bit better. So colors is the elements that you look, this is what we're going to look like for the next 4 months, the next 3 months. You cannot change these colors. You cannot use different colors. You got to stick to these colors. Why is that important? If you go to our Instagram right now, you're going to see our colors are orange and green. We're getting ready for the holidays, so we're going to stick to that. Before that, we were like a lime green and a blue, but that's the colors that we were using in the brand guide. And it's so important because people are going to identify you. Does anybody remember seeing this look last year? They're like, no, we don't follow you guys. It separated us from everybody else, and it was a staple in the city. It made us recognizable internationally, and it also made us recognizable, right, in our city, which is the most important thing. That people know. That's as famous as the VO logo is, so is all of your branding. If we can move to the next one. So you take inspo. You take, okay, I'm not a creative genius, and I don't just come up with things from scratch, but we take inspo from everything. And so when we put this together, we also said we kind of want our stuff to look like this. So we've had different graphics and different flyers that somewhat mimic or somewhat take inspo from this. And so when we create, they need to have this feel. In 2022, we did our research back in 2021, and we were, okay, what's the trends, what's going on next? Back in 2022, right, the 90s, they were back in style. So everybody was dressing like the 90s. People were trying to, kids that were born like 2010 were trying to like act like they were from the 90s. And so this was the trend, the music, the movies, photography, and everything, the way people were dressing. So what we did our research, and okay, the 90s are back in style, so we're going to mimic a little bit. We're going to follow the trend, and we're going to be relevant to our culture. The message of the gospel is still the same. The vision of Victory Outreach was still the same, but we were relevant to our people. We spoke to our generation. Why? Because we didn't look like something that was outdated. Don't talk to me, right? You don't buy certain shoes no more because they're outdated. That was last season, right? Right now you have new shoes because those aren't outdated right now. And so we had to understand, and we had to do the research. If we wanted to be relevant to our people and to our city, we had to make sure we did the research. If we could move on to the next one. We also had elements that we would use, so everybody was on track, from videos to graphics. It is, me and Edgar, we have two totally different styles. But you can't tell which graphics we do for Third Wave Hollywood because we follow the same brand guide. We use the same things. So if you were to look at it, you couldn't tell who made what or other graphic art or what video was done because it all spoke the same language. Next slide. And these were the fonts. These were the fonts that we followed. This is how we the Anton, the Helvetica, those were the main fonts. Lunar Bar, B-Field, those were the secondary fonts. Those were what added to it, what gave it that pop, what gave it that life. And I believe we have one more. Or is that the last one? That is the last one. Those are the basics that you need to be able to create a brand guide. Now, why is that? Why do we need to do that? Because the brand guide, it sets us up for success. It sets us up for quality. Your third wave nights need to look different than your Sunday mornings. They can't look the same, right? But at the same time, we need leaders who can do research and understand, okay, what's taking place right now, right? Culturally, what is going to get us? And this even translates a little bit to our Hollywood socials. We haven't done them in a while because we haven't had our building, but we are back in season. And so if Wednesday nights when we kick off again, we would love to have you guys come out, and we're really trying to be evangelistic, reach our city. They don't look like traditional church nights. They don't even look like traditional gang nights. And so we want, if you guys are more than welcome to be able to come check out, see, get inspiration, because what we're doing is evangelistic. Get people in the room, get them saved, speak their language. And so what the brand guide's going to do is that's going to separate you from anything else that's taking place. You have an event, you need a brand guide. You have a new, you want to start fresh in the church, you create a brand guide. This seems like extra work, but this is the level of excellence, of quality, and creativity you're going to need to be able to communicate effectively, to be taken seriously online, right? When you follow, some of you in here, you probably follow influencers. Why? Because you take them serious. There's certain brands that you follow. Why? Because you take them serious, because you like what they do. I follow brands only that are worth my time, that are worth, man, they put out content that inspires me, or I could take creative, or I just love their clothes, I love their music, right? I take them seriously, but there's a specific branding that they have. When we don't have a specific branding, sometimes we're not taken seriously. And that's a bad thing, because remember, we need people's attention. If I don't have your attention, I'm wasting my time, my money. I'm wasting everything I got because I can't get people's attention. And the one thing that we want to do is we want to be identifiable, we want to be recognizable, and we want to grab attention. And you got to do that. And so we open it up, man. Follow us on Third Wave Hollywood, and we really thrive. And we say this with humility. We don't say this like, yo, we're the best. This is what. No, we give our lives to it, and we've assembled a team. Me and Edgar, we've been working together for a little while now, and many members on the team, and we strive to, number one, do it to reach our city, but also we're a base, and we really push ourselves to be a model. And so there's a lot of stuff that we've done that have failed miserably, and there's a lot of stuff that we do that we see in success, and that's all because our heart is the global movement at the end of the day. Our heart is every church. And so that's why we took it as an honor and privilege to be able to come here tonight, because we know the struggle. I wasn't always in the base. I come from a local church where I was the guy that did everything in the back, right? We didn't have a LED screen. We had projectors. So we had to work our way up to that. My pastor, he's old school. Like, Pastor, we need an LED screen. He's like, no, our projectors are fine. No, it's not. There's a long cord running through the side. They have like this old school wooden stand. I came back. I was a staff for a few years. They put it up, the projector, you could barely see it. It was Pastor, we need to upgrade for the love of God. Can we please make our church a little, and little by little, we didn't have photographies. I had to learn how to take photos, get a young high schooler, teach him that. All right, this is your thing now. Graphics, I had to get every spot and build it. So if you don't have it, like Lewis was talking about, you assemble a team. You get people that can do it. You inspire people. You might not feel like you have all the skills, but if you're a leader, if you're somebody that has a passion for this church, you know these types of things need to get done. And you might not be the person to do it, but you could find the people to do it. Get them connected, especially to us. Man, I wish when I was coming up that there was a place where I could get connected to people, where I could learn. It was hard to get stuff from certain people, right? They weren't giving out a lot of information like we are nowadays. And so we're making it so much more accessible, because the souls in Riverside are just as important as the souls in Hollywood. We know that. And we will do everything that we can to help set you up for success and whatever you need. Here right now, I'd actually call up the guys right now. We'll do a Q&A. I think if we take a break, we might lose somebody. But we're going to do a Q&A right now if you guys want to come up. And we're at your disposal right now. As many questions as you have. They're not dumb. They're not small. We want to, as much as possible, and even after this, feel free to connect to the base, connect to us. We are here to answer any questions you have. I know this is something that's a little bit more formal, but not everything has to be formal, where we have a microphone, you make a flyer, we have to come out. Like, whatever it is that you guys need, we want to communicate at the same time that this is worth our time. This is what we give ourselves to, and we want to see success and everything that you guys do. This is a great church, like you were saying. You guys are dope. You guys have a great church. There's something great going on here, but we want people to know about it. So, if there's any questions.
I have a question for Brother Mike. I missed number 9 for the rules, 10 rules for social media.
Don't use your phone in church. No, just kidding. All it takes is one video.
Okay.
All it takes is one post.
And then,
be consistent, basically.
okay, and then for number 8, you said, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said repeat the best, right? And then forget the rest?
And continue to test.
Okay, and continue to test. Okay, thank you.
That was a tongue twister.
For each of you. So I know as a creative, I'm really new to the creative team. My husband is over the creative team in San Bernardino Church. So I recently started learning graphics and design and things like that. A lot of times when I don't feel like I could think of something, they call it a creative block. What is something that you guys do personally to help you refresh or think?
To be honest, I just close my computer and just put on Netflix, to be honest with you. TBH, But yeah, I remember I was in a creative block for probably I could say 2 months, it was probably 4 months ago. It was a long time. It wasn't a straight block, but I felt like everything I was making was just missing, Like there's gonna be times where you make something and you're like, man, this is whack, But something that I realized that it's important for every creative. Sometimes you just need to close your laptop, do something else, watch TV or just have your mind go blank. But one thing that's really good that helps me was I changed the place where I'm creating at. So usually I'm at home, I'm at my desk, but sometimes I just go by myself. I go to Starbucks, get some coffee, or I just go to I live by Long Beach, so I go to the pier. I go hang out. I just do my designs while I'm watching people walk by and stuff like that. So sometimes a change of atmosphere really helps you too, and just going blank. I hear this post. I see this post once every 2 weeks. The most important thing about creative, one of the most important things that a creative has to do is not do anything. Sometimes, So that's what yeah.
Give a holy answer. I go to God. That means I go to God. No, but my answer would be to that is I'm big on the atmosphere. And there's specific areas where I can't focus. I just can't. I'm unproductive. I can't do nothing. I can't think. So what helps me a lot is definitely the atmosphere. So I know personally I love to go to Starbucks. So I like to tell myself, if I'm going to spend $7 on a coffee right now, I better get this done. I better get this done. But what I mean by that is the atmosphere. Okay, I'm going to Starbucks. I'm going to go get my laptop. Meaning, okay, I got to be here. I'm not gonna waste my time here, so I gotta be intentional. So definitely the atmosphere, and definitely what helps me a lot is just being around other creative minds. That helps me a lot. Like on my For You page, or my like Instagram, I follow nothing but creatives. So that's what helps me a lot. Like I don't want to say copy their ideas, but like I like pick from their ideas. Okay, I like the way he used that. Boom, I like the way he used that. So what helps me too is like just hanging around, having a creative community. So whether that may be in person or through Instagram, I follow a whole bunch of creatives, like a whole bunch, because yeah, there's times where I can't even think of nothing. But I go on Instagram and oh snap, that looks fire. And I want to imitate that. I'm gonna take that. I like the way he did that effect right there, and I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna make mine with special sauce, with the special your own sauce.
I think everything they said, find sources of inspiration. I think it was Kanye, they did an interview a year or two ago, and they're asking him, where do you draw your inspiration? Are you your own inspiration? Where do you draw it from? And he said, right now, who's the biggest artist in the world? So the interviewers, they were naming artists. Oh, Drake, Beyonce. He's like, no, the biggest artist in the world is Bad Bunny. And he says, he's the top of the game, top of the world right now, so I'm drawing inspiration from him. And so, not that I'm saying go listen to Bad Bunny right now, but draw inspiration from places that inspire you. Like they said, Instagram, it could be whatever inspires you, but also look to people that are bigger than you. And, that's a place where you can look and to see, okay, that's where, man, this is a little insider. Some of the stuff that you've seen at the last Third Wave Con, a lot of the ideas that we got, it didn't come from churches. Don't tell nobody. Where did it come from? It came from some concerts that we've seen that they're innovating and they're doing new things. And sometimes we get in this realm where like, oh, what's Elevation doing? What's Hillsong doing? But churches kind of all recycle the same ideas, And we're just like in this little bubble where like we're just talking to other Christians and talking to other churches where sometimes the idea is that, like I said, I'm a huge, where the world, they're spending millions. Their production level is insane. And if you can draw inspiration from certain places, not, like I said, not get drawn in and, okay, go watch all 5 shows at Coachella and just that. But, okay, who is leading the way in what I'm doing and what can I draw from there? I got a message from God. I got a vision. Okay, now how can I take that and how can I put that there? Whatever that means for you, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And so I think those are every single one thing. They say sometimes you just got to take a walk, though, too. I hope that answers your question.
I don't know if I need the mic, but what are some good times to post on social media? Like in the morning, the afternoon, or the night? And then another question is, how do you mix them up? Like how many, because I know you said you have to be consistent throughout the week, but like how many reels should you post or how many like flyers and stuff like that?
9, 12, and 5. But that's all subject to, as you post, you got to see. Instagram will do this thing. They'll show you your analytics. And when the people who you follow or who follow you, they're viewing most of your stuff. And ultimately that, they give you all that information for free, but sometimes we just don't know how to, get a hold of it. We don't even know that it's there, the analytics. And so, but a general rule of thumb is 9, 12, and 5. 9 o'clock, people, not everybody goes to work at 6 a.m. Some people are barely going into work. I was amazed when I found out people go to work at 10 a.m. I was like, where's that job and how can I get it? Then there's 12 o'clock lunchtime, 5 o'clock, everybody's getting off of work. Late at night too, but that's a hit and miss. So that's why you got to look at the analytics on that, the best time to post. And like they said, when we do the breakdown of the week, is that we'll try to have 3 to 4 reels. Honestly, if you could post a video every week, that's mega. But I don't know anybody who's making like 7, 8 videos a week. That's a lot of work. But so reels are, man, because they don't just go to your followers, they go to everybody, who's on the algorithm who will see it. But so we'll do like Monday or Sunday, we'll post the reel from Sunday. Monday, we're going to do a quote graphic. Tuesday, the speaker reel. Wednesday, a carousel post with like notes from the speaker. Thursday, another speaker post. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll mix it in with creative things, and it's something that we put together. So we try to post every single day, multiple times, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way too. So you just got to find and put that together. It's a lot of work.
Definitely for me, since I come from, I'm here at the base right now, but I come from a small church. So I would kind of just like analyze how the church is. What do I mean by that? Is like, okay, if I know Sunday is our days where we get more packed out more than a Friday. So I would come out with the reel every Sunday. Why? Because there's crowd shots, there's more people coming in. You know, I'm not going to do a reel on a Friday when there's like a little bit of people. You know, the church is going to look dry. What's going on there? So, you know, just kind of like start analyzing your church. Okay, what do we get more on, I don't know, Wednesday's weekly service? Like, what do we get more on a weekly service? Do we get more intimate shots, probably more prayer shots, or are we getting more like crowd shots? Are we getting more a whole bunch of people coming in, or do we get that Sunday? So I would just kind of analyze and look at that. So that's the way I would do media back at home. Every Sunday I would do a reel because that's our days where we would get more packed. And now for Fridays, I would just do like photos or graphics because that's the day I would like fool people and make our church look full with like specific shots, specific angles. So yeah, kind of just like learn the church where you're at, and like learn like, okay, if I'm getting this, and what I would like to do is like connect with people. Like, oh, are you able to help me film this? Like, you know, probably like get a brother saying, giving a scripture. You don't have to post it that day, but you filmed that Sunday, so meaning you have something else to post during the week. So that's what I would like to do instead of like so that takes a lot of like planning though, like planning your content. Okay, I know Sunday I'm gonna film 3 videos on a Sunday, not meaning that you're releasing 3 videos, but you filmed 3 videos that Sunday. So later that week you're gonna shoot them out. Wednesday I'm gonna shoot out the one of the brother saying the scripture. The other one I'm gonna shoot out of a highlight on what's been taking place over at church. So I would say probably like that, you know. Sundays will probably be your best day to knock out content. Sunday you could probably knock out like 3 videos in one day. Not meaning you're gonna post all of them after a Sunday, but you have kind of like weekly posts right there.
You guys hit it for him, on the money, to be honest. But yeah, basically just how you said, like 9, 12, and 5. You know, because people are going into work 12 at lunchtime, and 5 o'clock it's right after like everyone gets out. You know, but on the question of how much to post, just like how we were saying, like have a schedule. Like you can start off light, you know, like light 3 posts on the weekdays and stuff like that, just to like to build up. Yeah, for sure.
I have a question. What do you guys use more? You guys use more Facebook or Instagram?
I think for sure, like, man, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's for sure Instagram. Instagram is like really like what I research and stuff like that. To be honest, I just started my Instagram. I mean, like my Facebook, like last month, because I haven't had a Facebook since I was like 13 years old. I'm like 23 now, you know. But I think for sure Instagram, because I think it depends. I know that Instagram is more like young people, and then but Facebook is where you attract the families for sure. Like I remember at my old church, like the parents would come in through Facebook, and it was like really big, like people like that. But yeah.
I would say like definitely I use both of them. For my church, I would use both because I know Instagram attracts like more younger people, but I would have noticed like the radical stuff, the crazier stuff on Instagram wouldn't hit the same on Facebook. Why? Because it's a different crowd, you know. And from coming from my church, like you can't leave the OGs out of the house. So you know, on Facebook, I would post more like photos. You know, someone that's older in age, they don't want to look at a crazy video effect, nothing. They're not gonna like it. They're gonna rather look at some photos. So that's what I would do. I would post it still, but I would know that okay, I can't forget about the audience I have in Facebook too. You know, because my church would get more. It was weird. We're more famous on Instagram, but we actually get more people to come through Facebook. And so it's like, yeah, I would say keep them both. Definitely keep them both.
Oh, okay. So I know you guys said that you guys don't have your Instagram full of like flyers and stuff, and even looking at your Instagram, you guys don't have any flyers. So like, let's say you guys have like the New Year's events and like things. Do you guys even post flyers like as actual posts or what?
So I know what we do, and I love that concept. So what we do is we post a flyer, but once the event is over, it passed, we take it down. So therefore, it doesn't look like dry. So like that's kind of what you kind of want to be checking your page again. And okay, this event passed like 2 years ago. I do not need this on my page anymore. So that's what I know we do.
Post it once, then just utilize your story. Stories is, I think we watch stories more than post anyways. That's what our generation is. Going back to the Facebook thing too is like when you post, do both. Put it on both. It's going to live on both stories, post. Make sure you connect it. And you never know what audience you're going to hit. But yeah, archive it. Do an audit. It's what the term is. Do it and clear your Instagram of what doesn't look good, what isn't attractive. Because sometimes you just got to put up because your pastor wants it up. And let it serve its purpose. But if it doesn't overall, take it down. They'll never know. They're not going back.
I had two questions, but one of them kind of went along with what you were saying right now, how you're screening the stories. My first question was going to be like, how long do you keep the, had the color scheme and all that. Do you keep it for how long? How long do you keep that color scheme going?
3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months.
Yeah, it's called a quarter or a season, and
Mhm.
then there's 4 in every year. So
And then are you like constantly like clearing that out, or you'll see like this color scheme, another color scheme, like
yeah,
I just
there's different ways to do it. There's some churches that are like they're black and gold, and that's all they'll do. You know, even the lights inside their thing is. I think we prefer more to keep it fresh and keep it relevant. Is that every 3 to 4? We'll keep it there, let it live there. So if you scroll down, you're going to see all the different seasons that we went through, and you'll even see the times that sometimes we didn't stick to it. But for the most part, there's going to be those 3 to 4 months where okay, everything looks the same, and generally the photos and stuff will be the same: families, young people, people smiling. But for those colors, for sure, they're going to stay the same for 3 to 4 months, and we'll keep it on there so people can see. Any others? How do I post? No, I'm just kidding. You could do that on Facebook too. They're both in the same company, Meta, so everything you could do there, you could also do it on Facebook. It looks different, just different crowds, different generations.
So we don't have no social media right now, so we're gonna build it up. But we wanted to start a gang page and then a main page. But how do you do you suggest not to post like any gang things on the main page and just keep it like just
Never.
Okay.
Never. No, just kidding. First thing is make sure, that's the first thing we had in mind when we came. Like, okay, every post I see, Pastor Sal, Bubs, that everything I see from Riverside is from Pastor Sal's Instagram. I don't know if it's posted anywhere else or if it's just everybody's personals, but the first thing you want to do is they need to be totally separate looks. So if this is like a great look for your church, if that you say this is what the main looks like, your gang page should not look like that. It should look different, and they can cross paths. They can you could promote certain stuff on each one. I mean, we do that with VOI, with Gang International, but we don't do that with everything. And so there's specific. If there's an event that's going on, you want to communicate it to the whole church. Obviously, you collab or you post it on the main church too. But for the most part, it shouldn't really cross paths too much. Where there's a certain look and certain crowd that you're going for in gang. It's where in the main, it's totally different. You know what I mean? It's more family orientated. Not that you're not posting young people, but the life of the church is different here than it is over there. Like Edgar was talking about Long Beach Vibe. Long Beach Vibe, it didn't look like Long Beach, Maine. It's totally different. And for us, for Hollywood, it's kind of a bad example because our Hollywood socials are crazy. They're the looks, the themes are wild, and it's different from Sunday. Sunday morning is very conservative. It's on fire, but it's a totally different look. Suit jackets and skirts compared to like, all right, red flags, relationships edition, my toxic traits. Like, so you have the ability to separate the two and let them be who they are. You know what I mean? The same way you're a certain leader. You're a leader on Sunday, and there's a certain service. Friday nights, you're going wild in here. There's strobe lights, you know. You got like 100 bikes throughout the whole thing. Like, you don't got that Sunday morning. So let those be two separate things. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to add.
Yeah. So like, I was like thinking about it like before you even said it, cause I'm in the base now. But I remember when I was at home in Long Beach and I just came back fresh from UTC, and the first thing I did was like, okay, my pastor put me over the social media, you know. And both of them are kind of like, they're all right, you know, but they were like going down. So what I did was I brought out Mike to have a training just like this, like for my team. And you guys have a whole room. My team was like a table full of like high schoolers and one young adult with me, you know. And he gave us this same training. And I think it's a good example because I took all of that and I just implemented it. So if you see, because you said to have a different, if you go, I'm kind of happy because I left the team. Like, so before I left someone in charge with the team. And when I left, she kept running with it. And I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm like happy now because like she's doing the same thing that I was doing when I was there. But if you see it on Instagram, on Via Long Beach, I know I'm from the base. Don't get me in trouble, Mike. But if you see it, like the main Instagram looks like some, you know, like some of like the older people. But it's got like a whole different vibe. It's like bluish, you know, whole different feel to it. It looks fresh. But the gang page shows all of like the high schoolers, like the young adults, everyone hanging out. Like they're hanging out and like it looks so cool, you know. So if you want to see them, it's like two different looks, two different colors. But when you put them together, it just shows you like the life of the church. And even in Hollywood, we have one page, but you can see the life, you know.
I would just like to touch on that a bit. I think it's like what Mike said. Like, make sure that you could tell a difference. Why you don't want your main page to look like a gang page? Like, oh, it's only like young people go here, or older people go there too. So I think it's very important that they don't distinguish both pages. That one has their own taste and one has another taste. But since y'all starting it, like I would say if you think y'all could handle 2 pages, run it up. If you think that you could probably put someone else over that page and then put someone else over the other one, I would say run it. What do I mean by that is because it's going to be very hard to pick up 2 pages at the same time. So I would probably recommend establish the main first, establish your main where it's like, boom, we're running it up, we're getting followers, engaging. And once you can say, okay, we're at a good point here, now create the other one. You know, because you don't want to burn out and just be trying 2, and then you're getting dismotivated because you only have like 10 followers on each, when you could have 20 on one. So I would say that if you think that, okay, my team can handle the capacity on doing 2 pages, run it up. If not, I would say establish that main page first. Establish your main, and then once you feel that you're strong enough, okay, just hit up the gang page now.
I also had a question. So when you said have someone run it, so we don't really have a specific person that makes videos. We have someone, he takes videos, but he's a professional. He takes like other people's videos, but not necessarily. We don't have someone that takes videos for our church or pictures right now. So, and as for running the Instagram page, do you guys have multiple people like maybe some of the leaders that have the page, or maybe just some of the young adults that are able to take videos and are willing to create reels, edit the pictures? Like, do you guys all have like the Instagram together and you guys all run it, or what do you mean when you say like have someone run it?
I know for here in the base, like, because it's a base, they have a whole team, like a major team. Like, I know Edgar and Mike, they're over the page. So it's like, it's different because there's like people there. It's like a whole team there. It's established where they lay out responsibilities to each. But I know as far as my church, we didn't have that. We didn't have that. I was the editor. I was over the page. I was doing this and that. So, it's kind of hard because, you don't want to burn out people too much. And like, but at the same time, like, you kind of just, it's not, like, don't expect that, okay, this person is going to just do videos. Because then you're just going to get them close-minded, and they're going to be like, oh, no, I'm just doing videos. Oh, no, I'm just doing photos. oh, I know, I'm just doing the page. I don't touch none of that. So right now, since like y'all just starting, it's like all hands to the plow right now. You know, kind of like no one's above no one. Oh, I'm not over this, or I'm not just gonna be closed-minded and do this. You know, but right now we're a team. You know, so help each other out. You know, and it's different areas. Like you said, like you have someone else doing the videos. You know, and I would just say that because y'all probably won't be able to have like a person over every single one. So this is like definitely a stretching season for all of y'all. A stretching season where y'all's capacity is gonna enlarge. Hallelujah. Because you know it's hard. Like there's not enough people, but that's where you know picking the players comes involved. Like man, like I gotta get someone. I gotta pull someone. You know, and I love the concept that they have here at the base. They always have someone shadowing. Like shadowing is like someone watching, someone learning, someone getting teach. So I would say that, like, you know, right now, y'all may not be able to have a whole huge team where, okay, you're going to be over the preach. You're just going to do this. You're just going to do that. You know, but y'all as a team working it together, having people shadow, so they're learning. I think that would be my best response.
I think some gold that I had gotten years ago was how companies like Kellogg, billion-dollar companies, how they structure their needs and their businesses is that, and you know, I think we do it in Victory Arch International, is that when you look at what you have, a lot of times what people do is they'll look at, okay, this is the team I got these 4 people right here, okay, where do they fit and where do they go? Okay, you could be over this, you could be over that, when that's working backwards. When you're looking at putting a ministry, you're looking at structuring something together, you look at the need first. Okay, I need, and this is how you want to eventually grow your social media team, content, whatever it is, creatives, is you need someone to do graphics, you need a team for that, you need videography, you know, you need photography, you need what's called a curator, that's the person who posts, and then you need, sometimes you need scripts, people to write, you know, what to post, how to do it. It's a lot of areas, and it could go on and on. That could break into. So you look at your need. Okay, this is what we need right now. Realistically, then you look at companies. Then what they'll do. Okay, this is who I need to hire right here. These are the 5 people that I need. So you take that. Okay, these are my 3 main needs right now. Okay, you know how to do photography a little bit. Even if you don't have a camera, here, use your phone, and this is get the very best that you can. All right, this is, you know, videography, there's reels. Okay, these people, they could help here. You know, graphics, you could help here. And you find first the needs, then you get the people that are going to meet those needs. Instead of working backwards, we're like, you're all I got. We're all going to, you know, everybody could do more than one for sure, but you got to make sure you know the needs first so you meet those needs, and then from there, like that's the team. But I know we didn't talk about the structure of the media team. There's like, you know, we're just like, yeah, this is how you do it. But, you know, there's a lot of people. Photography is one. Then in that is photo editing. You know, you got to edit your photos. You can't just take a photo and post it. I don't know if everybody knew that in here. You take a photo, don't just leave it raw. Even if it's on your phone, even if the lighting's perfect, you still got to edit that. And so one thing we use is Lightroom. That's a little bit more for it, but there's plenty of apps on your phone that could edit photos. I'm sure some of you have them right now. Right? Can some of you talk to me right now? Who has a photo editing app on their phone? They're like, don't expose. Right? You got to edit your photo. As great as it could look, you got to show it some love. Right? There's videos, there's videographer, video editing, right? There's graphics, and then there's someone who posts. That's usually the leader, there's someone in charge. So you find and you figure out who could fill those spots once you find that out. And so it's all about understanding your need.
I had another one. So do you guys have like a TikTok page? Or how do you, I know one of you guys had mentioned something about like TikTok. And I know TikTok is one of the main like platforms, you know, right now, more than Instagram, Facebook, you know, TikTok is the main thing. Do you guys have like a TikTok page, or how do you guys even post on TikTok?
We do, but we're not faithful to it. There's a whole nother person that's in charge of it, and it's a whole nother world. So like, Instagram, Facebook's kind of like the same world.
Yeah.
They differ a little bit, like Lewis was saying, you know, and you got to show a different type of love, but it's almost the same, you know. TikTok is a whole nother world. That's mainly videos, and so that takes a whole nother brain for that. And so we have someone for that. It just hasn't been very smooth. But when we have done it, it's been really successful, you know. So that's even YouTube. You know, we forget about YouTube sometimes. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. People aren't going to Google, right? When you want to figure something out, where's the first place you go? I go to TikTok, right? And then if it's not on TikTok, it might be on YouTube, right? Somebody else bought this and they know how to use it, right? We were using a sewing machine yesterday. I went to TikTok first. Then I went to YouTube. And went, all right, the third place I went was Google. And so don't forget, YouTube's also one that you got to think about, and that's a whole other monster. So yeah, TikTok, you should definitely use it. And we're getting back on track with that too. You use us. We're here. We're here. Unless someone's like, stop asking questions.
For what's some like apps or video editing like apps that you guys could recommend?
Oh, the best, Adobe. I said it. Adobe. So I would recommend, if someone in here is studying in college, so there's like a $20 and you get the whole bundle if you type in like the school you're going or something like that. So I would recommend that. If you have someone in your church that's in college, what church, what college do you go to? What's your name? So yeah, Adobe, because personally what I use for video editing, I don't know if you want to take notes. It's the best video editing app, hands down. Let me know when you're ready. Premiere Pro. And all of this is included within the Adobe Cloud if you get the whole package. Okay, now for graphic design, it would be Photoshop. For picture editing, it would be Lightroom. Then, like I said, within the Adobe Cloud, there's like so much apps in there. Like, you get the whole cloud if you get that student one, or else you're gonna be paying like $20 for each application. But it's pretty expensive. But so far, I think those are the best video and like Photoshop for quality. And you know, I did want to give y'all like kind of websites where y'all could look for fonts, where y'all could look at assets, and where y'all could look for music. And this is my personal. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm gonna give it to y'all guys. I know how it is. Okay, now for fonts, these are my 3 top websites. So everybody knows, of course, the font. Everybody knows that one. The other one is Text Avy, A-V-Y. The other one would be B Fonts, B-E Fonts. And the other one would be Unsplash. Okay, those are for fonts, you know, for letters, what type of fonts you want to get. Okay, now for assets. Like assets is like the PNGs, the graphics, effects. I'm going to give y'all so far my best ones. And the cool thing, like I know what my church does, like I like to be different from other churches, so what do? I buy specific fonts, you know, just so we can be killing the game. You know, you want to be unique, you know? So that's what I personally do. I buy, like I invest in myself with fonts, with effects, with all of that. But I don't like to have what everyone else have. So for effects, the cool thing about these is like these websites these 2 I'm about to give you, they're like subscriptions. So that includes like templates, like music, sound effects, like video effects. So that's the cool thing about these subscriptions. So the first one is going to be Motion Array. Motion Array. So that's where I get all of my songs, all of my editing stuff, all of my assets, all of my overlays. That's where I get everything. MotionArray.com. That's $30 a month. It's fire. Another one is Envato Elements. So that's for more video editing right there. That's more like, so I would title that more as far as video editing, which is songs, sound effects, like effects for your videos. Now for like actual graphics, PNGs, my favorite one is Creative Market. Creative Market. And the cool thing about that is like you just go on there, you search up what type of like effects you want, PNGs, I mean, and you know they're not too expensive. They sell fonts on there too. And for music, my favorite music one, this is just like an additional right here. I didn't want to give this one, but this is so far like the best music where it's at right here. It's called Music Bed. That was a hard one. That's the best one right there. Music Bed. They have fire stuff. Fire stuff. So, BED. Yeah. So I don't know if someone missed something that you want me to repeat. Okay.
I can add some too. I'm like, I have like apps and websites all over my head. But I think for inspiration, a really good one is called Behance, like BEHANCE. That's one that I know me and Mike use a lot. It's for inspiration on fonts and all that stuff. It's really good. Just to scroll up there, and you'll see like people's graphics from churches, from events, stuff like that. And another one, you see how you had the colors? Another good one for just colors, it's like a color generator, and it's called Coolors. And I always spell it wrong, but I think it's COOLORZ, right? Or S. But yeah, something like that. Yeah. So Coolors is like, it's a good one. If you look at if you like generate colors, it'll give you like different colors, like 5 or 6 that all blend together. You know, like it'll be like a green to a yellow, and you keep pressing it, and it'll show you like good colors for like, you know, like your branding. And I think another one for video editing, I know because not all of us start off on the computer or like have a computer, but a good one that's like, I use it like for like a lot of our stuff, actually, like for captions, for videos. It's called CapCut. And it's like really good actually. Like people like hate on like the apps for the phone, but I use it for like the captions, like for the, like when they're preaching and stuff like that. And then I use it for my I posted a video of like a day in the life of a designer, and I use CapCut because it was just way easier on my phone, you know? It's real quick, and yeah, that's like a really good app that you can use for sure. And if I can think, yeah, Envato, all that stuff. So yeah.
Who's that? Okay, who's designing graphics in here? You guys use phone or laptop? You use a laptop? Do you have Photoshop? Photoshop? Phone or? We can tell. No, I was kidding. I was kidding. No, we use it too. We use it too. For those of you that are inspiring to be like, you want to mess with graphics. Now, obviously, if the quality's not good, you just be honest with yourself. But Studio by GoDaddy, I know it's a long name, but they bought it, and that's what they made the name. It's super weird. But it's actually not bad on your iPhone. I think they have Android too. If you're getting started, you don't have a laptop, they actually have really cool stuff in there that you could use, and you need to make something on the fly. Is it going to look as great as if you did it on Photoshop? If Edgar did it, took his time? Probably not. But if you need to get the job done and you need it to look great, have a lot of resources, that's on there. And as well as if you want to edit photos, you don't have a laptop, you don't have, and if you're taking photos on your phone, even if with the camera, you got it here. It's called Tezza, T-E-Z-Z-A. It has a lot of good filters, editing, so just in case you're on the go, you don't have your laptop, or, that's not where you're at just yet, it is a great app to be able to use. Don't sleep on your iPhones, Don't sleep on your iPhone. There's so much you could do on there now. You could film a 4K movie, on your iPhone with everything that they have now. So, if you have an Android, we'll pray for you that you get the vision of Victory Outreach International. But iPhone just makes it so much easier. The quality level is so much higher, But, someone's in here, like, Android's better. We'll pray for you. So there's a lot on there. I don't know if there's any. Who in here does photography or editing? Use the camera. You just do everything, huh? Photography. Use a camera to use your phone. camera? Okay. What you guys are San Bernardino, right? You guys are set up for success. Yeah, you guys had Jacob. You guys are solid. He needs leaders and so camera here, Riverside, what do you guys, photographer or? Do what you gotta do, but you're not gonna post 10 photos. Don't, zoom out and the quality. Make sure the quality is great. Lighting is your best friend on stage. If you gotta get people to pose and like, hey, can I take a picture of you guys outside? Like, iPhone is amazing. You just gotta utilize lighting. You gotta make sure, you gotta be a little bit more strategic with it. But that has to be your job someday. You can't be like doing green room and then like, oh, I'm also the photographer. It's too much work. It's going to be an afterthought. So on that end, for sure. Videography, is that kind of the same too? You guys have like just iPhone? Become a professional at editing your photos. It's possible. It's the skill set that you guys need. So watch TikTok, watch YouTube. I'm sure these guys know how to do it 100 times better than I can. But learn. If you're gonna do it, be a student at it. Maybe I'm not a specialist. Be the best you can. Give it to somebody else who could do it even better than you. So for sure, learn. I don't know if you're more on that.
Yeah, I think like what Edgar actually said about the CapCut. I was using it the other day. I didn't want to get on it because what is CapCut all about? But when I used it, I shot a video with my iPhone, and they have like pretty like sick filters on it that make the color look nice. So I would say, yeah, like iPhone definitely it could do the job. And definitely, what I wanted to say was like, I know my church did fundraisers for a camera because I didn't want to just get I didn't want to make my pastor buy a camera and him to buy like a cheap camera, because it's kind of like an iPhone is low-key better than like some cameras. Like honestly, like an iPhone quality could be better than like a $600 or $800 camera. So personally, I would recommend getting a Sony camera. The reason why is because it has a balance between photography and videography. Rather more like Canon, it's more for photography, and Nikon is more for photography. I like Sony because it has like a balance between it. And yeah, like stay on Best Buy. I know that's what my church was doing. They did car washes, because we didn't want to. Because my pastor wanted to buy one, but I know he was gonna buy like a cheap Canon. So I was like, like let's hold it down. Let's hold it down. With the iPhone, let's hold it down until like let's get fundraisers. And let's run it. Let's do it. And we invested ourselves in a Sony camera. If the one that we started with, honestly, is the Sony Alpha A7 III. Sony Alpha 7 III. Sony Alpha 7 III. And it's $2,000. It's $2,000. It's possible. In the name of Jesus, it's possible. It's possible, definitely. Who sells? It's possible because yeah, honestly, man, it's low key. If you're gonna make an investment that much, honestly, I had to learn the hard way to get what you're gonna get, instead of trying to be cut corners. But I just wanted to say, y'all definitely did the biggest step this night, taking a step of faith and having this. Many churches would have not done this, and that's really something to look up to. That's something that y'all could applaud yourselves to, Y'all took a step this afternoon, and, I know personally, I'm going to be praying for y'all. I know Mike and Edgar is going to be praying for y'all, and we know it's not easy. But, y'all definitely did that step of faith this afternoon.
Like I said, it's something that you put your hands to. You plan the work, you work the plan, and that's the only way that it works. And so it's so vital. And I know you guys agree I know there's two churches here. Your pastors deserve the best. God deserves the best, 100%. I know that's how we serve, but also your pastors, man, they deserve the best. They put in a lot of work. They might not fully understand the lingo or the importance of it, but if you're like, man, this is my church, my pastors, they, I love them. They're my pastors, then I'm going to give both the best possible. And so when you give yourself to it, I know we work on a lot of teams, and so there are probably some of you in here that maybe won't be doing social media, but you guys are all working together as a team. Is that I think Pastor Ryan was talking about it. I don't know if it was today or a couple weeks ago, but I love that he said it is some people sometimes that they're afraid to step on toes, or they're afraid to, I don't want to get out of my lane, and we use that as an excuse to not hold each other accountable. Now, if you guys start something, it's up to everybody to make sure that, they're held accountable and we're being consistent with what we're promising to God. Let your yes be yes. Let your amens be amens. So if you sign up for it, there has to be a level of humility where somebody from the outside, you're not a part of the social media team, is you could come and you could say, hey, I noticed we're not consistent. Maybe this is something, not trying to boss them around, but hey, I care about this too. It's not just your responsibility, it's also my church. And so, hey, we haven't been inconsistent. What do we need? What do you need help with? And vice versa. If someone comes, you're part of that team. I kind of dealt with this a little bit in the beginning when I was like 18 years old, and I thought I knew it all. I was the young guy putting it all together, and someone would come and give me a suggestion, and I would think in my mind, what do you know about this? You're not the one doing this. You're not this is all me. And God had to humble me. I had to learn that when people bring suggestions, it's from an outside perspective, an outside POV, that, man, I missed something. Thank you for letting me know. And we work together because this is your church. How to say this is your church, right? When you're in San Bernardino, that's your church, Pastor Rick deserves the best. Pastor Dow deserves the best. Your church deserves the best. And so it's an overall perspective. You got to be open, because trust me, we're the team, but there's plenty of outside eyes that see, and they say, hey, that's misspelled. Hey, that's wrong. Hey, just change it, And we could be like, oh, burnt up. But no, thank you for letting us know. We got to fix it, Not that, critiquing a little, change that color, not stuff like that. But if we miss something and there's something that we have to fix, it takes humility in that. So thank you guys for having us. We appreciate it. We're here outside of this, and let's see where we go from here, huh?
We're just gonna.
Well, that was a lot of information. We just want to thank you guys for. We just want to thank you guys for coming out. There was a lot of things that we as for Riverside, as she said, we don't have an Instagram page right now. But with us being able to learn and use the elements that you guys gave us, we're able to build that. I do think that that's an asset in building the church, building the gang, is being able to make the videos, the pictures, appealing to the eye. And as for me, I want to learn how to, take better videos, pictures, because as of right now, I just have my phone, I do like taking videos, but as for, we do have to invest in like a camera or something that we can, like you said, we want the best. So in order to, get the best, we have to actually get the best, buy the best, spend, some money on it. But for right now, use what we have, use what you guys gave us, these apps, for the phone, the websites on the computer, and just, learning how, like these graphs, learning how they work, because I know, as for myself, I don't really know how those graphs work. I'm not too, I'm a beginner, I guess you could say a beginner in like the graphing, designing, social media, and, I have my own social media, but being able to use that and in our, everyday life, and being able to, because Instagram, social media period is just like a big thing into this world. A lot of people, like they still watch, their churches online. Since COVID happened, that's when I think social media just went flying high. I think that we, as a team, we're gonna be able to, use this, and I'm, grateful for you guys to come out again. Thank you, and we were YouTube Live, so in case anyone wants to go back, Victory Outreach Riverside, you can go ahead and watch the YouTube video. But with that, if you guys don't have any questions, we're gonna go ahead and close out. If you could bow your head and close your eyes. Heavenly Father, God, Lord, we thank you for tonight, God. We thank you for, who we had come through, my Father, God. We thank you for Michael Morrow, my God, and just being able to teach us, my God, and being able to give us the assets that they use, Father God. Lord, I pray that we would retain this information, God, that we would use it, my God. We would use it and, practice it for our everyday life, God. Lord, I pray that you would just continue